Well, hello and welcome to Faith Without Religion. So, time for another live video. So I've been through the list of excuses as to why I hadn't done my video today, like hair wasn't looking good and makeup department was closed, all the usual stuff. But seriously, folks, we are going to be doing more and more lives because we need to keep connected as a group of believers. It's very, very important. I titled this particular video, What's Going On? Because if you look around in life in general, you could very well ask yourself the question, what is going on? It seems that the world is definitely in a downward spiral. So if any of you happen to be students of eschatology, you will know that that means, without a shadow of a doubt, that we are living in the end times. We're living in the last days. We're not sure when Messiah is going to come back, but it can't be too far away because all the signs are there. You know, I did a post the other day about the guy that died in the football game, soccer, as you would call it. But anyway, he made this miraculous recovery that I talked about. And I've learned now that he's been discharged from the hospital. So everything's looking good for him and his family. And then I was watching another game, his country again. I thought I'd quickly peek in and see what had happened, because after this terrible thing happened to him, they lost the game that he was playing in. They then lost the next game, and they had to win the game they played today against Russia by at least 2 goals to be able to go forward in the tournament. So why am I telling you this? Well, they kind of relaxed some of the controls for the amount of fans that were allowed to attend the game. And I think they had about 25,000 fans, which is still well under capacity. But these guys were all crammed in together. And of course, they were very patriotic in their support of the team. And then they started to get the goals. And I just watched the reaction of the fans when they scored a goal. I mean, any of you that are sports fans will know what I'm talking about. I mean, I grew up in London as a football fan. I mean, it was part of our life, and scoring a goal was just such an incredibly important thing, particularly if you go on to win the game like they did today. But imagine now 25,000 people just yelling and screaming, and you could see the excitement on their faces and the tears running down their faces, and they're hugging each other and they're high-fiving each other. And it's just an absolutely spectacular celebration. But for what? Because this round piece of leather got whacked into the back of a net made out of string. And yeah, I know that, you know, I'm a sports guy. I mean, I love sports. I played football my whole life, soccer, as you would call it. Growing up, that was my thing. And it was exciting. It was fun. And so it should be. But I got to thinking, imagine if every time someone became a believer, if every time someone gave his heart over to the Lord, that we had that kind of a celebration. Now, I know they tell you, well, that's what's happening in heaven. When somebody gives his life to the Lord, there's this massive celebration in heaven. That's great, but we should be having those celebrations here right now on the earth. So anyway, just something to think about, something to think about. When was the last time you said to somebody, so what would happen to you if you died tomorrow? Well, what do you mean? Well, do you know where you're going? Do you know what's going to happen to you? Well, we've lost that boldness most of the time, you know, and there are a lot of people that are never going to set foot in church. And it's up to us to go out and find them and be the example to them so that they ask us, hey, you always seem to be happy. You always seem to be calm. You always seem to be relaxed. What's going on with you? And then that opens the door and gives you the opportunity to witness to them and tell them about the sheer joy of having Jesus Christ in their life. But if you go a week, a month, really, even if you go a day and you don't share that with somebody, we've got a problem here, because we have a commission to go out into all the world and preach the truth of the gospel, and we're not doing it because we're worried that we might not fit in. We're worried that we might be canceled. I mean, that's the newest thing now. They're just canceling everybody all over the place. So guys, in this group, we have to stick together, and we've got to start working towards that goal of winning the lost, definitely, and also educating the found, letting them know that we are in a race. We're in the end times. We're racing headlong towards those final days. We're racing headlong towards the day when we are going to have to stand in front of Jesus Christ, our Messiah, and account for what we did after we became believers. So I tell you that not to scare you, not to cause sensation, but just to let you know that that is going to be the focus of several teachings that we're about to unfold and send in your direction, because I just know in my spirit that this is an important part of God's message that's being missed by most people because they're not being taught it. But we're going to learn about the judgment seat of Christ. We're going to learn about the rewards that are available to us as diligent servants in the coming kingdom. And they're rewards for things that we do now. And that's really important. So I hear you saying, well, you're trying to say now that you can work for your salvation? No, you got that as a gift. It was by grace through your faith in Jesus Christ and the price he paid for you. But now that you've got that gift, what are you going to do with it? You're going to be like the man who had the one talent and then he buried it and he gave it back to the Lord and he said, I knew you to be a hard master. Well, look what happened to him. They took what he had away and gave it to somebody else. We don't want to be in that number. We want to be the other guys who took the talent that the Lord had given them. One had 2, one had 5. And what did they do? By diligently applying themselves to it, they doubled it. And they heard those words, well done, good and faithful servant. Very important. We need to be understanding that, helping others to understand that. But we're going to do it in a fun, easy to understand way. I have to say, it's not all fun because... there's some elements of this that are so serious we can't make it fun, but I do promise to explain it to you in a way that is understandable. So that was my alarm, which I set to make sure that I don't waffle on indefinitely, as I do have a habit to do. So, summary. The world's going nuts. It's on a downward spiral. You must avoid getting involved in that spiral yourself. You need to be ascending upwards. Look up, look to where the Lord is. He's there to help you. So we're going to give you some tips and ideas on how to make that an easier thing to do in your everyday life, and how to not be worrying about things like cancel culture and all the other nonsense that they're coming out with. So that's happening. We do want your help to grow the group. So if you know any person at all that you feel could benefit from having a closer relationship with the Lord, please get them to join the group. It's free, and we just want to provide them with love and support and teaching and inspiration, and we want to hear from you. We want to hear what's God doing in your life. That's why I'm going to do a teaching tomorrow that's going to show you how to do one of these Facebook Lives. It's real simple. And once you get into it, it's actually quite good fun. So we'll revisit that tomorrow. So until then, this is Frank signing off, and watch out for some very exciting information that's going to be appearing in this group in the coming days. God bless you, and bye now.